up, y'all? It's your girl Tania Renee, and we're back today with another story time. I know I haven't done one of these in so long, y'all, but I owe y'all one. Thank y'all for tuning in with me and my few viewers. And those that haven't subscribed, make sure you go ahead and give your girl a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. And at the end of the video, if you can resonate, make sure you comment down below. Help your girl out here. Anyway, I mentioned in my video before this one that I will give y'all a tutorial or something of me doing my hair, or just a video of me doing my hair. I decided against that. I decided to give y'all story time. And I am doing some 2-strand twists. But instead of me doing the 2-strand twist with my natural hair, I decided to add some spring twist hair. I'm going to cut this hair in half because it's rather long. Even though it's like 8 inches, this hair, y'all, long as hell. So you can imagine any longer it would just be too much. And like I've said before, I like when I have curly weave styles for my hair to be short styled. So that's what we're going to do, because this is going to make my hairstyle last longer. And as you can see, I kind of like already started. Like, the weave look just like mine. Like, this is my hair and this is the weave. So yeah, like I said, I got it sectioned off in parts, and I just got to pull it up because I am working on some hair back here. My hair. Anyway, as you see that shrinkage, baby, just pop right back. Anyway, we're gonna continue with this, but I want to show y'all the hair texture that I like to use, the hair weave that I like to use to do this style, because it works well. It's cheaper than the other hair that I hate to fucking use. That shit is trash. Let me show y'all. This hair, $6.99, bomb as hell. You see what it does. Looks like mine. This shit right here, $8.99. Trash as hell, nappy, kinky as shit. That is not my hair texture. My hair is rather wavy and curly, especially when I put some type of pomade, gel, moisturizer, whatever. My hair gonna curl right the fuck back up. Even if I comb it out, it's gonna curl back up eventually, because especially when moisture gets to it. This shit trash. Beautiful hair. Let's get into the story time. Okay, this story time took place in the mid-2000s. Of course, I'm not going to give y'all an exact timeline. Don't be trying to put 2 and 2 together. If you know, you know. If you don't, continue to tune in. Even if your ass know, shut the hell up and just tune in. Anyway, y'all, let's get into this. Okay. We're going to give the main character the name of Charm, because that's exactly what he does. He likes to charm you into things. I ain't gonna lie, he has a good personality on the surface. He did. That's what made me want to, get to know him and kick it with him, because he was chill vibes, just funny as hell. He was a cool guy, and he seemed really genuine. And I can honestly say in the beginning, he really did show that he liked me and probably did want something else. But time just went on our side. And I honestly feel like sometimes people come in your life in a bad time. People that can be something for your life come in a bad time. Well, sometimes they're just not for you. They're there to help you grow and become better about certain decisions that you make in life. But anyway, y'all. So yes, this was around the time when I dated a guy that had a wife and a mistress. No, I did not know about these people in the beginning. I eventually did find out about the wife, but y'all just have to continue to tune in to these parts to find out everything. Yeah, there are gonna be some parts to this because it's just so much happened in these years. Of course, I can't fit all this in one video. And here I am running my mouth and I ain't even got my fingers in my head. I need to get moving. Okay, so yeah, I met Charm in the mid-2000s or whatever, at this little job we had. Yeah, I know I'm not somebody big on dating people I work with, but I don't know, it was just some type of exception for him. I don't know what it is. I don't even say an exception. It's just, some things just naturally happen, and I don't even say we was really together. But he was somebody I dealt with at some point of another. Maybe not in the beginning, but at some point we did, like, you know, mess off, whatever. He was, you know. So yeah. Okay. I kind of gave y'all a little bit too much. Okay, so I met Charm, like, helping out in their work area. I work in another department, and I would, like, go down there and volunteer in their department because my manager would ask some of us to go down there and help in another department. And so that's what I did. Of course, you know, I wanted to make some extra money. I wanted to just, you know, grow through the company because it had been a minute since I was working. The dude I had at the time was actually my fiance at the time, and he did not want me to work. He didn't mind me not working, but the girl, I've had a job since I can remember. You know what I'm saying? I had my first job probably when I was 12 years. I think I was like 12 or 13 years old, working at like this little theme park we had in my town back in the day. So yeah, I worked there. And so when I was back working, shit, I always wanted to be there. And he was doing his thing, you know, he was an entrepreneur and he was doing his thing. So shit, I was trying to make some money too. And again, like I said, we was engaged. I was trying to make sure we was gonna be good. I was gonna stack up some money, help pay a few things, and we both stack up some money so we can be straight. That was my mindset. But of course, okay, just let me continue. So I'm going down there, helping down there. Charm is being charming. He's being real cool and chill. He's flirting or whatever. And at the time, I wasn't really like looking at it like him flirting with me. Y'all just cut my damn hair. This is a lot of damn hair. That was mine. That wasn't the weave. Damn. Anyway, so yeah, shit's over there. A little distraught. Anyway, see, just sometimes people just bad for your life in general. I ain't gonna get too deep about that. I feel like sometimes, but I am gonna say I feel like sometimes certain people bring negative energy in your life. But we're gonna talk about that another time. But yeah, I'm talking about this person and yeah. But anyway, so you know, we kicking it off pretty good. We, you know, chatting at work, joking and laughing and stuff. He's being flirty, and it had got to the point where he would personally call up. He would call up to the area for me personally. Like, he would be asking my manager, "Can you send Tangy down here to come help with that?" My manager like, "What you got going on?" Because see, he wasn't the only person calling up there wanting me to work in their work area. It's like, I don't know, they just like me down there. And they did, you know, like, people was, you know, trying to be cool with me, but here I am, Miss Antisocial. I don't really care to make a lot of friends, and people always want me to hang out and do things with them. I don't know what it was. I was cool when I got comfortable with you. I would be myself, I guess, you know. So, not saying I wouldn't always be myself, I just wouldn't open up like that. So, yeah. I got cool with a lot of people down there, and I would be down there kicking with them, and then eventually my manager and another manager of mine was, you know, talking to me about applying for a leadership job because they felt like I would be the perfect candidate. Of course, people in my area up there would get, you know, felt some type of way when they found out, you know, in the midst of us, you know, waiting for the job, that I was one of the candidates that they wanted personally to apply for, you know, to get the job. But I'm like, my thing is, my thing is this. If you've been here all this time, you always into it with people, always in some shit, and you weren't even thinking about the shit at first. Now suddenly you are because you know, got all these kids, this and the third, ain't my problem. But anyway, I ain't gonna get too deep about that because that shit ain't even about this. But my thing is, don't be mad when somebody else come in and they stepping up to the plate to do some shit. Don't be no hater bitch. It was some little young ass girl, you know, a couple little young girls on their feelings, you know, cause I guess they thought I was their age. Most girls, they always think I'm in my early 20s. I don't know, but anyway, I ain't gonna get too deep about that. So yeah, I ended up getting a job, but before I got the job, I found out that Charm had been off work because he got hurt out there at work. You know, and I realized I hadn't been seeing him around. And, you know, at the time, y'all, I honestly didn't even know his real name. Like, I knew him by his nickname, which I'm not gonna say, but I knew him by that. And, you know, I kind of like was asking my peer leader, like, you know, the person, she was another, you know, lead like me. I was asking her, like, where is so-and-so and so-and-so, you know, she kind of like brought it up. I was like, oh, okay, so he got hurt. And I'm still, you know, I think she brought it up saying somebody got hurt. And I still at the time did not know that she was talking about Charm. I was like, oh, that's sad. And then eventually I found out that it was him. And I was like, oh, that's him. You know, thinking it to myself. Because I had mentioned something about somebody. She's like, oh, no, that's not him. That's somebody else. I said, oh, okay, so that's the guy. It was Charm that she was kind of like speaking of, because I had got him mixed up with this other guy. And I think this other guy got him mixed up with was like a manager that had like got caught abusing drugs and stuff, and they was gonna send him to rehab. Like, baby, when you're a manager in some areas, in some places, they gonna take care of their kind, which that's a great thing at the same time. But at the same time, don't abuse the privileges you have. But when a company cares enough to try to get you some help, that's the company you should stick with. And that's why, you know, I have so many reasons to why I love the company that I worked for, and at the same time I started to hate that company. But yeah, fast forward, Charm eventually comes back to, no, reverse. In the midst of me getting to know Charm, I also got to know other people, you know, in the areas down there on the different, you know, little work areas. And one of the persons I got to know, we're going to give her the name Youngin because she was young as shit. She was younger than both of us. And, you know, some other people who was around or whatever. We're going to call her Youngin. But she was cool. You know, me and her became really cool. And then in the midst of all, you know, us chit-chatting and joking and laughing, this and the third, all that, you know, just kicking the shit, she would be talking about her boo. I ain't really asked too many questions. I feel like she want me to know who her boo is. She'll tell me who her boo is. I didn't really care. You know, for one, I wasn't big on dating nobody that I work with to begin with. And yeah, she did mention like he worked out there, but I didn't know who she was talking about. Eventually, of course, I found out. So she's talking about her little boo. And so eventually, well, one day me and her was like up in like this little area where they have a lot of computers, and we were just up there kicking or whatever. Because at the time, like I said, I had got like a lead position. She was we had the same type of job, but she worked there and I worked another area. So our jobs were different, but our leadership roles were the same. So the pay was, you know, similar. She probably was a little bit more because she had been there before me. So you know, they rank your pay even if you get promoted at the same time somebody else, because me and her got our job at the same time. It depends on when you start or whatever, how your pay will be determined, or depends on where you are in your leadership, how your other pay will be determined if you've been on a higher paying job. It just depends on where you are in that ranking. So anyway, yeah. We sitting up there one day, she on the phone with this guy, and you know, I kind of overhear her talking about him being, you know, how his leg or something feels, and I still at the time did not put two and two together to find out that it was Charm who her boo was. We're gonna get off later on down the line how I found out he was her boo. So yeah, she up there talking to Charm on the phone, you know, that I didn't know. And you know, eventually me and her, I think we was on break or some shit. Or no, we were just kicking it. We was on break, and then eventually we just stood up there longer than our break. So I eventually leave her there. I go down there one day, whatever. Fast forward, you know, I leave out of there, whatever, and just go on by my dad. So fast forward, Charm is back at work after a couple months. He had been off. You know, time had went by too, and like I said, you know, I ain't paid so much attention because, you know, he was cool, but I wasn't thinking about him like that. So, even though I did notice he had been missing. So, I was in the manager's office talking to my manager. We was talking about something we was going to talk about in pre-work, whatever. We were just going over the notes for the day. And he walks in, and as I'm leaving out, I'm smiling like, hey, handsome. I don't know, I was in a good mood, baby. Them were my red hair days, y'all. I used to have red hair. My hair was natural and it was really long. Of course, I've been natural for forever. And I used to wear my hair, I used to wear my own hair a lot. I wasn't wearing any weaves. And my hair was really long, big, and red. So, baby, I guess I was feeling myself. Must have got a fresh wash or something. I don't know. But I remember calling that man handsome. And so he was like, ooh, wow, with the biggest grin on his face. And then he watching me as I'm walking out. And at this time, as I'm walking out, I'm realizing to myself, I'm kind of having these little feelings like, I started like really thinking about him in another way that I wasn't thinking about at first. I don't know. I guess I kind of was like missing that he had been at work. And so I was like, Y'all take in mind at the time, I was in a serious relationship, and he obviously was married. I did not know that he was married at the time. I eventually found out that he was married when me and him was about to go to like this manager's workshop. Like he was gonna go to this manager workshop, and he was trying his damnedest to make sure that I was gonna be in the same class as him, the same day and time as him, because at the time they would send you away to like the corporate area. Like they would send you to like the corporate location, and you would take like this management like course or whatever to see if that's something you want to do. And even during the week at work, like every week we would have to attend like this little manager, like the little manager meetings in the mornings, you know. We just have to go and like, you know, watch what they do and talk about it, things like that. It's just a part of your, you know, your process. And, you know, of course, eventually I did not become a manager. Over time, that's something I didn't want to do. Later on down the line, y'all, he did become a manager, whatever. And I'll talk about that some other time. So yeah, so as that goes on, we in this class or whatever, we looking good as hell because we dressed the hell up. We had to dress for success. And baby, at the time I was fine as hell. Like, I didn't gain a lot of weight. I still look great. But at the time I was still fine as fuck. That's what I say. Cause I was looking great. I look good anyway. But I had to be killing in that class because I kept getting compliments. But anyway, ain't gonna brag about that. Anyway, we're in the class or whatever, and then you can like tell like when the class was over, I can kind of like tell he wanted to see me more that day. He wanted to see more of me. They just about the stuff he was saying, the question he was asking, which I eventually found out that yeah, he liked me at the time, and he was like, you know, damn, he was like, I really wanted to ask you out for lunch that day. And I was like, why the fuck you didn't ask me that? And at the time, like, I wasn't thinking that, but on down the line, we had this conversation about that particular day. So yeah, we eventually go back to work the following week, whatever, and he does express to me that, you know, he really likes me, he's cool, can I have like friends, whatever, at work. You know, at the time, like, you know, I ain't thinking like my dude's gonna trip about it, because he had people, he was cool with females, he was cool with it, you know, because, you know, he's professional, whatever. I didn't trip too much about it, you know, because I knew that he was gonna be talking to women like that, you know. And I thought it was just an innocent thing, whatever. I didn't think too much into it. I was like, yeah, we can exchange, we can kick it, we can talk, you know. But eventually, the feelings did come, because he had got to the point where he was coming to my area, you know, because I would be up top, you know, working. I would be watching over my, you know, my peers or whatever. I was, like I said, I was in leadership, and I'll be watching over them, you know, making sure they're doing their job, giving them work and stuff like that. And he'd be up there talking with me, all flirty, all in my face, trying to rub my leg and kiss me, this, that, and the third. But I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't innocent in this situation neither, because, again, I'm in a relationship, y'all. And at some point, we was like in the manager's office by ourselves. And I walks up, and we just talking. And then I lean over and kiss the back of his neck. Yeah, I know, right, wrong. But he actually did some shit to me first. But we ain't gonna get into detail about what that was. You know, it wasn't nothing crazy, but it was when we was just kicking it up there in the little area, my area. But anyway, so yeah. So I guess, you know, I can say that we probably had like this kind of emotional flirtationship thing going on, if that makes sense, because we had got to a space where we was, yeah, I guess emotionally cheating, because we would like really be talking to each other, confiding each other about things that was going on in our relationships that we wasn't happy about, because eventually I did find out, like he actually told me about his wife, like before we had that little manager class or whatever, that manager class day or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, well, yeah, I'm engaged, this, that, and the third or whatever. So I can honestly say, y'all, I can honestly say that we was emotionally cheating with each other. Didn't really think too much into it, but on down the line I realized like that's the thing, you know. But it wasn't anything physical. But I guess that's just as works, because if somebody can take your mind from your mate, then they lost you. You know, that's hard to come back from. But anyway, I ain't finna get too deep about that. So anyway, as time goes on, we deep into it. You know, we talking a whole lot. Me and my dude going through things, and him and his wife going through a lot of shit. I think him and his wife at the time like was talking about divorce. You know, he was a guy where he used to be really big, and he lost a lot of weight, and like I think a lot of that stuff played a factor, because he had got real small, and then she was finally feeling insecure. She had lost some weight too, but you know, men weight, it comes off like it's shit melting off. I ain't gonna get too deep about they, you know, situation. I'm gonna talk about us and our situation, but I'm just saying that's just one of the factors of they shit. But I knew so much about him and his situations. He would be telling me so much stuff, which I ain't gonna say too much on here, but he did a lot of shit. He did some cheating on her throughout the years in their marriage. You know, that shit was ending years ago. But I feel like where people fuck up at is that they hold on to years instead of doing things that would make both of them happy. They stay in relationships selfishly, and I feel like that's what both of them did. They was in a relationship all these years being selfish, being comfortable, because that's what they was used to. They both, you know, wasn't probably the most popular kids in school, because they actually married fresh out of high school. The craziest thing, this man told me that he didn't say she did it, but I say she manipulated him into marriage, telling him that the only way you can shack up with me is if we get married, basically. So I feel like that shit was a fail from the beginning, because here you are, you ain't never really had no woman, you in a relationship with this woman because that's what she told you, and you was liking her at the time, so you went with that shit. But I honestly and truthfully feel like that is the worst thing to do, to get married straight out of high school. You don't know you, she don't know her, he don't know him, y'all don't know shit. Why the fuck would you get married right out of high school? Or whenever. It's still too early on in your life. You haven't experienced shit. You ain't went through your real high. You ain't had your whole phase. I feel like everybody should have a whole phase if that's what you want to do. Everybody gets to that point. They either wait till it's too late, or they go through it early off. And if it's meant for y'all to be together, that shit would just naturally happen. Y'all would naturally gravitate back towards one another. I can say graduate. But anyway, I'm talking too much about that shit in there. I don't give a fuck about that. So yeah, fast forward. This is where Younger comes to play. Me and him, like I said, we had been got really cool, and I was going through my thing, he was going through his thing, and at this point we in deep with the shit, talking and whatever, to the point where he was inviting me to hang out with him. I wouldn't go because number one, I was scared, and I was like, man, like, I don't think my dude would be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I know you like me, so that would look really bad. But at the same time, I feel like my man was out here doing his thing. Honestly, I really felt like that, but I didn't say too much about it. I just like, you know what, maybe I'm just being paranoid. I'm not insecure. I don't want him to feel like I'm being insecure. So I just let it be what it is. You know what I'm saying? I just like, nah, you just, this is profession. He gonna be talking to different people. He gonna be around different. You know, I didn't want to, you know, dwell in that. So I just tried to block that shit in my mind. Even though I would be talking to him about how I was really feeling, you know, charm. So anyway, one particular night, my homegirl, which I'm not going to give her a name, one of my closest girls, her family had like this little birthday function thingy. You know, we always dressed in white or whatever. And so I go there and I invite him there because, like I said, this was a public place, a lot of people, and it wasn't like no intimate thing. You know, because like I said, I wouldn't take none of his offers of him inviting me to different clubs that he would be at or whatever. I wouldn't go, you know. And then I think I still was a little nervous just to be around him because I actually liked him too, but I didn't know how I should feel about that or how to react or how to do it. I didn't, like, that's really cheating on my dude. So I invite him there. He comes. And at the time, y'all, I really feel like I said, I think he really, really liked me at this point. I know he liked me then. But, it just was bad time. I don't know. I feel like had we started out doing things the right way, things could have ended differently for us. Maybe. I don't know. I used to think like that. But anyway, so yeah, he comes and we kick or whatever. Then eventually me and him, we leave. And he trails me to my mom's house. And we were just sitting outside in his vehicle. Just talking or whatever. My dude was somewhere else, you know, with his family or shit, probably with some chick. Yeah. And we kicked it all night or whatever. We just kicked it over there in the car or whatever, talk shit. And then he eventually kisses me. And here we are now making out in the car. Okay, so fast forward. You know, we at work and he would be coming over to my area because at this time I had, you know, some years had passed by. Like, no, that's a year. At this time, like a year had passed by, and then I started like I was down there a whole lot. Like I would literally like sometimes I would even be like I would be like they would ask me to come down there like doing my shit like in the middle of my shift to help out sometime. Because they just needed certain people down there. I don't know why. It just was weird like that. I didn't really know that the person that Youngin was talking about was Charm. Let me tell you how I found out that he was talking to Charm. That Charm was talking to Youngin. I'm at home, you know, one day, and I get this phone call. No, first I got a message on Facebook. I'm like, what? From her. She messages me some crazy shit and then blocks me. I'm like, what? And so some time passed by. This crazy bitch calls my phone. Guess how she got my number? I mean, right, from him. Who else would she get it from? She talking shit and some shit, you're not cool, and then I know, and so whatever crazy shit she said online. First of all, bitch, who is you? That's how I was like. Then she was telling me, I was like, oh, okay. I said, shit, I didn't even know he was your dude. Because y'all, I honestly did not know that this is a nigga she was talking about. She didn't tell me it was her man. She never mentioned his name to me. Shit, almost like it was a secret. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, so you need to be mad at yourself. And first of all, how you gonna be dick hogging a nigga that ain't even yours? He's a married man, stupid bitch. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? Bitch, you up here arguing with a chick over a nigga that ain't even yours legally? You just smashing this nigga? Or he doing the most? He was doing the most with her, y'all. Like, they was taking they work vacations together. She was a proud side bitch. When I say everybody knew that she was his side bitch, and I didn't, they knew. Like, I really did not. Because that's how entwined I was with people's love lives there. Like, I didn't really give a shit. I was just cool. You know, come down to work, folks be talking. Some of the shit they talk about probably go over my head because I ain't listening that hard. Like, honestly, y'all, he hid that shit with her well. You know what I'm saying? Like, people knew, but a lot of people didn't know. And I'm one of them people that did not know. For one, I didn't give a shit about none of them folks' relationships out there. I just knew about him, and, you know, we was cool. I didn't ask all them extra questions. I didn't really care. Maybe I was too naive about some shit, but I didn't really care for real, because I had a relationship. So I wasn't too intertwined with that shit. I just knew me and him, we did like each other. We used to flirt, and you know, of course, we had made out and shit. And so it had got to a point where we did eventually like link up somewhere else and just sit and talk and you know, chill or whatever in his neighborhood. We never got into the point where we had sex with each other at that point. At that point, we never did. Like I said, not when I was in my relationship. We never got to that level. So she's on my phone talking shit. I said, honestly, shit. He said he wasn't in a relationship. He said he wasn't with you, because I think I did ask, who is this young girl you supposed to be talking to? Because like I said, my peer leader, she was telling me about some girl that is supposed to be his mistress, and I'm like, for real? And so I did ask him some shit. I said, honestly, he told me he don't even mess with you, but I wasn't thinking like. At the time, like, I just told her, like, I knew. I was like, I didn't even know you. And I was like, no, I didn't even know it was you. I just know I knew he had some chick he was talking to up here. And he told me he didn't even mess with whoever this chick was. Didn't know it was you. So she mad. Now we ain't cool, whatever. I don't really give a shit, because I'm not here to make friends. And if I make a friend in the process of my jobs, I'm always cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Good vibes are good vibes. And if we hang out outside of that, you know, I don't know, somehow I was open to it. I think I just wanted to meet some new girlfriends. I don't know. And it might have had something to do with my dude getting on my damn nerves. But anyway, so yeah. Fast forward, another year or something go by. Like I said, me and him still was kicking shit, talking. Even though a little crazy mom was getting into it with different women with him. She eventually tells him, you can be cool with the other women out here, but you can't be cool with Tanya. Because I'm thinking she felt like that because she knew that he liked me. And maybe because he was openly, you know, showing some type of liking to me, and people was realizing that he was around me, and they probably was in her ear like, oh, that's the other girl he talked to, this, that, just real messy, y'all. And honestly, I did not even care. But also, in the midst of this time, his wife is in his message. Something happened. And so she was trying to figure out, I guess, she thought I was the girl that he was messing around with. It was youngin' that he was in, because I guess she saw some shit, and some shit had happened or whatever. And so she goes to my dude's job, y'all. He had his own business, but at the same time, yeah, no. At this point, I don't think he was working at that job. He was fully doing what he's doing now. You know what I'm saying? He was a full-on entrepreneur at this point. Because, like I said, some years had passed by. A couple years passed by. She goes up there. I guess she's showing him messages, telling him shit, that's the third. Just putting shit together. But it was the wrong girl, y'all. And so I'm telling him, you know, and then, of course, we started having all these problems, whatever, and we did eventually break up. And doing this, I'm telling him, like, you need your wife went to my dude. She went up there at his job, telling him all kinds of stuff. You need to tell her that it wasn't me, that you was. Y'all, when I say I was so distraught, because here I am, I know all this shit about you. I'm supposed to be cool with you, even though I know you got all this extra bullshit going on. But he really, y'all, was like confided in me about a lot of shit. Like I wasn't letting my feelings cloud none of that shit. Like, for real, like, it wasn't even that. Like, it was really deeper than that. Like, we really was like really, I feel like we was forming a friendship, and this is before we physically was trying to do anything with each other, even before the kiss or whatever. Like, we was really cool. Like, we was really open with one another. We was really on that level. I know what a friendship is, and I know what some other bullshit is. And it was all of that. But in the beginning, we was like really cool like that. He was telling me all kinds of shit. I even knew about. He was telling me all kinds of shit about the side chick and everything, like how he met up with her, and he didn't like her at first, but he did eventually start having feelings with her. Even in the midst of me knowing about the girl, he did something. He said, I do care about her. I said, you love her? He's like, I love her. I was like, you love her? You doing all this shit? He was like, yeah, a lot of the stuff that happened between you and my wife is me. She realizes how my money was changing up because I wasn't working a whole lot and the money was different, and He's like, yeah, you know, but y'all, so much drama happened with him and that girl and that wife. I heard stuff like she came home, the girl was there, and he put her out the house, and him and the young bitch was still, all kinds of crazy shit was going on. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. That ain't my situation. But I really feel like he was a coward to his wife because he should have been left. He should have been told her how he felt about that shit, about the marriage. That shit should have been finito. But that shit should have been over with. But anyway, yeah, I was just so fucked up because I'm like, you put me in a bad space. And I don't get into too many details about the crazy shit that happened between me and my ex. Just knows a lot of crazy shit happened between us. Just, I was in a bad space, you know what I'm saying, y'all? And I really ain't giving y'all a whole bunch of details about the shit with me and Charm, though. Like, I said I was gonna make all this shit like some parts or whatever. I kind of like really skipped over a lot of stuff, honestly. But I probably will talk a little bit more about us and, you know, like how he was to me. Like some of the shit that he was saying to me. Women aren't gonna react to shit or react about shit when you're putting them in certain spaces. And he will be putting me in certain head spaces. And like I said, after me and my dude broke up, he eventually did come around and apologize all this stuff, and we got back really close. But in the same sense, he was like, he made it sound like him and that girl was together, because I think at some point they did break off, and him and his wife at this point was like separating. When me and him got back cool, and they was filing divorce papers. But the man, y'all, like I said, I ain't gonna talk too much about it, but it's most definitely gonna be a part 2. And I'm gonna pick up where I left off, of course. And I'm just gonna let y'all know that this is around the time I found out that he was lying to me still about Youngin. Him and his wife might not have been together no more at this point, but he still was messing with Youngin ass. And I'll tell y'all how I found out about that in part 2. Y'all, I really need to finish my hair. I mean, I got a long ass way to go. My hair is so damn thick. I really need to get finished because I got somewhere to be tomorrow. And here it is, probably what shit. What time is it? It's 12:21 in the morning. I ain't even halfway done. Well, I'm gonna get there though, because your girl ain't trying to walk around here looking a hot ass mess. But if you're interested in part 2, just let your girl know. Hell, I'll just probably get it out anyway. I just wanted to make sure I get on here and chat with y'all about some crazy shit that happened in my life. Some shit that I probably put myself through that I didn't have to go through. Somebody that I should have left a long time ago. Sometimes we keep toxic ass people in our lives, and he is definitely a toxic character. Just know that. Sometimes some people we can't seem to leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of how bad they have hurt us, we tend to forgive them and keep them in our world, and they don't deserve to be in our world. And Charm is one of those guys. I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.